A mischievous evening. It was a cool Friday evening in a quiet British neighborhood. Most houses glowed warmly with lamps, and the faint hum of televisions drifted through open windows. In his small upstairs bedroom, a 20-year-old boy lounged lazily on his bed, phone in hand. He had developed a nasty little habit lately, making prank calls. At first, it had been harmless jokes to fast food shops or random numbers, silly voices that made him laugh. But today he had gone further. On his contact list sat the number of a girl who lived just across the street. She was polite, studious, and well-mannered, someone his family respected. But for reasons he didn't even understand, he had chosen her as his target. He pressed the hidden caller ID option, smirked, and dialed. The phone rang, and then a soft voice answered, "Hello?" He snickered before speaking in a mocking tone, "Do you ever stop acting perfect? Everyone laughs at you, you know." There was silence on the line, only her confused breathing. He went further, laughing as he said, "You think you're better than everyone, but you're not. You're just pathetic." Before she could reply, he ended the call and burst into laughter, rolling on his bed at his own cleverness. But what he didn't realize was that someone else had heard everything. Father walks in. His father, a tall, stern man in his 40s, had been walking down the hallway to fetch a book from the shelf near his son's room. He paused when he heard the cruel tone of voice. Curious, he stopped, listening. By the time the call ended, his face was tight with anger. The boy jumped when the bedroom door swung open. His father stood there, arms crossed, his voice like a blade. "What was that?" The boy quickly shoved the phone under his pillow, trying to act innocent. "Nothing, Dad. Just a joke." "A joke?" His father's eyes narrowed. "Do you call humiliating a girl, our neighbor, no less, the joke? Answer me." The boy stammered, "She won't even know it's me. I was just bored." "Bored?" His father's voice boomed in the small room. "So you think disrespecting women, mocking someone kind and innocent, is entertainment? Let me tell you something. What you just did is not funny. It's cruel. And under my roof, cruelty will not go unpunished." The boy's smile faded. His stomach churned. He had crossed a line. The belt comes out. His father stepped toward the wardrobe and pulled free his old leather belt. The hiss of the leather sliding through the loops made the boy's heart pound. "Stand up," the father ordered. The boy hesitated, his legs trembling. "Dad, please, it was just now." Slowly, nervously, he stood. His father doubled the belt over in his hand, eyes locked firmly on him. "You are 20 years old," he said, voice steady but fierce. "You should know better. If you can't show respect to women, to neighbors, or to yourself, then I'll make sure you learn that lesson here and now." The punishment. The first strike landed sharply across his backside. The boy gasped, stumbling forward. Crack. Another blow came swiftly, the leather biting into him. Each strike echoed in the room, and with each one, his father's words followed. "This crack is for the girl you mocked. This crack is for thinking cruelty is fun. This crack is so you never forget." The boy winced, tears springing into his eyes. He gripped the edge of his desk, his voice breaking. "Dad, I'm sorry. I won't do it again, I swear." But his father didn't stop immediately. He delivered enough lashes to make sure the pain sank deeper than the skin, into his son's conscience. Finally, the belt lowered. The boy's cheeks burned with shame more than pain. His eyes were wet, his pride gone. Making it right. His father's breathing steadied. Now listen to me. This lesson is not finished. You will pick up that phone, call her, and apologize. Not just words, you will mean it. Do you understand? The boy nodded quickly, swallowing hard. Yes, Dad. His hands shook as he retrieved his phone. He dialed the number. When the girl answered, her voice cautious, he forced the words out through a trembling throat. Hello, it's me. I want to apologize. What I said was cruel and stupid. You didn't deserve that. I'll never do something like this again. There was silence, then the girl's quiet reply, just don't let it happen again. When the call ended, the boy lowered his head, guilt weighing heavy. His father looked at him, calmer now. Pain fades. But the lesson must remain. Better you learn here, under my roof, than out there in the world where the consequences are far harsher. The boy nodded silently, rubbing his eyes. For the first time, he truly understood the seriousness of his actions. That night, the house returned to quiet. But in that small bedroom, a boy had been forced to grow, disciplined not just by the belt, but by the weight of responsibility.
The room felt heavier after the apology call ended. The young man sat quietly on the bed, his shoulders slumped, his plain white shirt wrinkled from the tense ordeal. His father, still standing tall in his rolled-up white shirt and brown trousers, placed the black leather belt back into its loop with a final snap that echoed like a warning. The father's stern expression softened just slightly as he looked down at his son. Father, firm but calm, you humiliated yourself, and worse, you humiliated that girl. This family doesn't tolerate disrespect. You've learned tonight what happens when you forget that. The boy, wiping his eyes with his sleeve, nodded quickly. Boy, softly, I understand, Dad. I won't do it again. I promise. The father sat beside him, the bed creaking under his weight. For the first time that night, he put a hand on his son's shoulder. Father, you're old enough to know better. Discipline isn't just about punishment, it's about remembering who you are, and how you treat others. If you can't respect people, you'll never earn respect. The boy swallowed hard, staring at the floor. The sting of the belt still burned on his skin, but it was nothing compared to the weight of shame pressing in his chest. He nodded again, more firmly this time. Boy, I'll make it right, Dad. I'll do better. The father gave a single approving nod and stood, leaving the room. The boy sat alone in the warm-lit bedroom, barefoot and shaken, knowing the lesson would stay with him longer than the marks on his skin.